Title: Betrayal in a White Coat. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study Description. For 40 years, a government study allowed hundreds of black men to suffer from syphilis, even after a cure was found. This is the story of the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, the brave whistleblower who exposed it, and how this horrific betrayal forever changed medical ethics. A chilling reminder of how easily science can be twisted into an instrument of suffering. If you or someone you know is struggling, help is available. Please reach out to a mental health professional or a crisis hotline in your area. 0 o'clock in 1932, in the heart of Macon County, Alabama, a shadow fell over the lives of hundreds of black men. It arrived not as a looming threat, but disguised as a promise. The promise of free health care from the U.S. Public Health Service. The men, mostly poor sharecroppers, were told they were being treated for bad blood, a vague local term for a variety of ailments. They were offered free meals, free physicals, and even burial insurance. What they weren't told was the devastating truth. They were not patients. They were subjects in a study designed to track the brutal, untreated progression of syphilis. This is the story of the Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis in the Negro male, one of the most infamous and unethical experiments in American history. A 40-year lie that would leave a permanent scar on the nation's soul and forever change the relationship between medicine and the people it has sworn to protect. 130, the study enrolled 600 men. 399 of them had latent syphilis, while the other 201 served as a control group. From the very beginning, deception was the foundation of the experiment. The men were subjected to painful and dangerous procedures, like spinal taps, which were falsely presented as special free treatments. Researchers told them it was a way to help their bad blood, when in reality, it was purely for data collection. They had no idea they were part of a non-therapeutic study, designed simply to observe the natural course of a deadly disease. The researchers meticulously documented every agonizing stage of syphilis, from skin lesions and heart problems to paralysis, blindness, insanity, and ultimately, death. They watched, they recorded, and they did nothing to intervene. The level of betrayal was staggering, and it was only just beginning. 300. The most unforgivable chapter of this story began in the 1940s. Penicillin became the standard, effective cure for syphilis. It was widely available, a miracle drug that could have saved these men from their suffering. But the researchers in the Tuskegee study made a conscious, chilling decision. They actively prevented the men from receiving treatment. They worked with local doctors, clinics, and even the U.S. military during the World War II draft to ensure these men were denied penicillin. They were so committed to their data that they condemned human beings 2 decades of preventable agony. The study has stated goal to observe the disease until autopsy was pursued with a horrifying dedication that valued scientific observation over human life. The men were simply entries in a logbook, their pain reduced to scientific data points. 430 behind, every data point was a human being, a family, a community. The cost of this experiment cannot be measured in statistics alone. The men suffered physically, but their families bore the emotional and social burden. Wives contracted syphilis from their husbands, and children were born with congenital syphilis, condemned to a life of health complications from the moment they entered the world. The men believed they were receiving care. They trusted the doctors in their white coats, the government officials who promised them help. This trust was weaponized against them. Imagine the confusion and despair, feeling your body deteriorate while the very people you believe are helping you are simply taking notes. The study didn't just destroy bodies, it shattered families, eroded trust in medicine for generations, and left a legacy of pain that echoes to this day. 6 o'clock for 40 years. This horror continued in the shadows, but secrets this dark cannot be kept forever. In the late 1960s, a young social worker, an epidemiologist with the Public Health Service named Peter Buxton, began to raise ethical questions about the study. He saw the profound moral injustice of withholding a cure. He sent letters of concern to his superiors, arguing that the study was unethical and had to be stopped. He was ignored. His concerns were dismissed. The scientific establishment closed ranks, determined to see their experiment through to its grim conclusion. But Buxton refused to be silenced. Realizing that working within the system was fruitless, he made a courageous decision. He decided to become a whistleblower. He leaked the story to an Associated Press reporter named John Heller. 7:30 on July 25, 1972. the story broke. The headline hit the nation like a shockwave. The public was outraged. How could the United States government conduct such a monstrous experiment on its own citizens? The backlash was immediate and immense. Congressional hearings were convened, and the officials behind the study were called to testify. Their justifications crumbled under the weight of public scrutiny. Within months of the story's publication, the Tuskegee study was finally terminated. The lie that had persisted for 4 decades was brought to an end, not by the moral compass of the scientific community, but by the bravery of one man and the power of a free press. The surviving men, many of them old and ravaged by the disease, finally learned the truth about their bad blood. 900. The exposure of the Tuskegee study sent tremors through the world of medicine and research. It forced a national reckoning with medical ethics. In response, Congress passed the National Research Act of 1974, which created a commission to establish clear ethical principles for human subject research. The result was the Belmont Report. This landmark document laid out 3 core principles: respect for persons, beneficence, and justice. It established the requirement for informed consent, mandated that the risks of research must be outweighed by its potential benefits, and demanded fair procedures in the selection of research subjects. It fundamentally reshaped the rules of medical science. While the pain of Tuskegee can never be erased, its legacy is a constant, vital reminder that science must always serve humanity, never the other way around. Thank you for watching. If you found this story important, please like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most impactful moments.